Hello my dear students. So today's content of the video is scope of engineering ethics, which is needed so that you can understand why exactly the engineering ethics is really important when you join the workplace. Firstly, it is said that engineering is as a social experimentation. Why? Because the engineers of the entire world are the ones who are going to create the comforts for the humanity, and the same engineers are going to create the hazardous substances and potential dangers to the process. Therefore, all engineering projects are considered as a social experimentation that is going to generate both comfort and risk. So, it is the responsibility of engineers who create benefits to point out damages in their usage and thus prevent any harm. Moral values embedded engineering. Why? Because when moral values are embedded in engineering projects, they are going to achieve more than economic success, a long lasting public back and wholesome success. That is why the moral values has to be included in your engineering ethics, that is into the project. Then is personal commitment and meaning. Engineering is all about products and the people who make them, and the people include engineers who are at the forefront of relationship with customers, colleagues, management, research and development, employers, and the general public. And the personal commitments of individual engineers need to be aimed at and integrated with the shared responsibility, because they are the main shareholders. And in addition, if engineers are aware of their individual contribution to overall success of project, their commitment would increase. So they have to show some sort of a commitment towards their shareholders and their stakeholders, and there should be a personal commitment and meaning to whatever process they are carrying out. So next is promote responsible conduct and prevent wrongdoing. Since prevention is always better than cure, it is important for organizations to promote responsible conduct among its employees rather than punish them for any wrongdoing. Strong ethic culture should prevail in organization to prevent fraud, theft, bribery, incompetence, etc. Conflicting ethics generate dilemmas. Personal ethics, professional ethics, moralities, humane considerations often clash with each other and come in the way of business performance. Company policies, personal reflections, work environment, advice by experienced people, etc., help resolve dilemmas which are generated due to clash of ethics. Micro and macro issues is the next point which we need to discuss. So micro issues concern decisions taken by individuals and companies, whereas macro issues are concern of more global issues such as environment, terrorism, monopolies, consumer protections, technological progress, etc. Both micro and macro issues are important in engineering ethics because they are often related to one another. Cautious optimism about technology. This has a similar theme as social experimentation. Just like every coin has two faces, every engineering invention brings along with it a host of problems such as pollution, depletion of natural resources, crime, terrorism, cultural erosion, threats of biological and chemical and nuclear warfare, etc. Society has been immensely benefited from the following top 20 engineering achievements of the 20th century, but at the same time have posed threats in various ways to mankind. And those 20 projects are related to electrification, automobiles, aircrafts, water supply and distribution, electronic engineering, then radio and television, mechanization in agriculture, computers, telecommunication, high performance materials, then also nuclear technologies, space technologies, refrigeration and air conditioning. Then also comes the civil infrastructure, internet, petrochemical technologies, laser and optic fiber, and also the household appliances and imaging technology and the healthcare finally. So these are the main project which has really given a utmost and the very good benefits for the people, and it has been a achievement in an engineering field at the 20th century. So this project has really been helpful to the society. Then comes the three types of inquiries when it comes to the scope of engineering ethics. And those three type of inquiries is nothing but the search for truth, information, or knowledge. Engineering ethics therefore is considered as providing a quest for providing a good guidelines on the ethical issues. So talking about these three inquiries, the first one is normative inquiry. These inquiries help individuals and groups to overcome clash of ethics during the discharge of their duties. In other words, normative inquiries are actually aimed at identifying and justifying the moral desirable norms or standards that guide individuals or groups in their workplaces. Like for example, to what extent are engineers who work on public project obliged to public safety, or whether it can be um, when, if ever, should engineers announce to the public the dangerous practices employed by their management which are hazardous to the public. So it's a confusion whether you have to inform the public about your project that it is creating some sort of a hazardous and the risk to their life, whether you have to announce it or no. So this is a normative inquiry, so where you face a dilemma between your professional and your project life. Then comes the conceptual inquiry. These inquiries are aimed at clarifying broad concepts like principles and issues in engineering ethics, like what does safety mean and how it is related to risk, what roles do sincerity and honesty plays in the workplace, and do they exist actually, and what is professionalism, does it have any boundaries. Then, so what constitutes a bribe, are gifts a form of a bribe? So these are some kind of a deep understanding which you need to have when it comes to the conceptual inquiry, which you talk among yourself and you try to get the meaning out of some sort of a context. Next is the factual inquiry. Now, these inquiries are aimed at finding facts and figures which may help in resolving the ethical issues. This is completely statistical and practically related. So, factual inquiries are also called as descriptive inquiries, which seek to uncover information which has been bearing an ethical issues. So, factual inquiries are more realistic and provide rational basis for decision making on several issues. So, these are the inquiries which you can implement when you are actually engaged in some sort of a group discussion or debate with the management. So most of the time the factual inquiries plays a very important role, and that will really help you in sorting out the your dilemmas and come to the solution. So this is the content, and I hope you all are clear with the concept of scope of engineering ethics, why it is important, and what are the duties which you need to follow when you are actually involved in the engineering field by following the engineering ethics. So that's it for today. Thank you.